Hi guys, this video is to help us in section 9.5 of our book, and that's going to be on page 138 in your notes. So if you do not have that out and you need to pause your video, please be sure that you pause right now and get that out so you can take notes along with me. So here's what we are looking at today. We're looking at kind of the anatomy of a circle. So there are certain vocabulary words that we need to know about a circle to help us solve more complex problems. So in general, and you can pause your video at any point in time to write this stuff down, a circle is a set of points in a plane that are the same distance from a given point called the center. So if you notice, here's our center point, and so when we create a circle, the line that creates our circle is a series of points, and we know that's what creates a line as well. The radius of a circle is the segment that connects the center to the circle. So I go from the center out to one side. That's my radius. A chord is a segment that has endpoints on the circle. So if you notice, a chord does not go through the center of our circle. So it connects one side of the circle to the other without going through the center. Diameter is a chord that passes through the center of a circle. So notice the diameter goes through the center, so it goes from one side of the circle to the other. And then the circumference is the distance around the circle. So I want to know how far is it around this entire circle. I would use my formula for the circumference. So when we're dealing, as from yesterday, we remember that formulas are going to be very important when we're working with finding the area of things, finding the circumference. So an important thing to keep in your back pocket is the circumference of a circle. So there's two different ways that we could find the circumference of a circle. Circumference is equal to pi, which most commonly we'll use 3.14 for pi, but always be sure to listen to directions to know what number you should be using for pi. Sometimes people like to use 3, sometimes we use 3.14, sometimes we leave our answer in terms of pi and we just leave pi in the answer, the symbol of pi. So circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. Circumference could also be equal to 2 times pi times the radius. And this makes sense because we know that 2 radii equal 1 diameter. So if we know the radius, we could do 2 times r times pi. If we're given the diameter, we could do pi times diameter. So let's take a look at some example problems. First of all, we just need to be sure that we can find the different radii. So a radii would be a line segment that goes from the center of the circle to the side of a circle. So we have line segment RB is a radii, RD, and RE. All of those are radii that are identified here. Chords, so again, the chord does not go through the middle, so we have AB, we have CD, and we have BD. And those are our radii and chords. The diameter, so you can hit pause and find the diameter in circle R. We can see all right, now that we're back, we can see the diameter is line segment BD. All right, so again, the world's largest wooden nickel is in San Antonio, Texas. We want to try to find the diameter. So if we know the radius is 80 inches, we want to try to find the diameter. So we know, again, a formula you might want to put in your back pocket is that the diameter is equal to 2r. So we substitute numbers in. We know the diameter is twice the radius. So we're going to do 2. What's the value of r? The value of r is 80, so 2 times r is 160, so the diameter is 160. If you forget this from last year and need to write this down, you can hit pause and write down the radius is half of the diameter. The diameter is double or twice the radius. So you can write that down if you need to. All right, moving on to finding the circumference. We have the surface of a trampoline is bounded by a circular frame with a 7-foot radius. We're trying to find the circumference of the frame to the nearest foot. So again, pay attention to that, how we're going to be rounding our answer here. So we always start off with writing out our formula. So I know the circumference is equal to pi times diameter. So we know that pi is 3.14, and if it's a 7-foot radius, we know that 7 times 2 is 14. So what's our diameter? 14. And that's what that says there. And then we're going to multiply those together. And when I multiply those together, I get 43 and 96 hundredths. So again, it says round to the nearest foot. So my correct answer would be 44 feet, option B. And that's how we find the circumference. So real quick, I would like for you to pause and try these 2 quick checks, and I will be back on with an answer. All right, if we know the diameter is half of the radius, so 6 divided by 2 is 3. And a circle has a radius of 11 meters. We're writing an expression that describes the circumference. So one expression could be the circumference is equal to 22 pi, because that's an expression. It doesn't say solve, it just says write an expression. So that could be one expression, or another expression could be our circumference is equal to 2 times pi times 11. And we know that 11 times 2 is 22. All right, so this concludes our background knowledge of what we need to know about circles, and I'll be back with your homework. Thanks for watching.